Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you a web app that I created that allows you to create a monthly calendar that is recurrent. This video is part of my web app series where I am creating different micro web apps that you can use for your job or your work or just to make your life a little bit easier. So if you haven't seen any of the other videos, I'll leave a link to the playlist down below so you can go ahead and check it out. All right, so like all of my web apps that I have created, I use large language models such as ChatGPT, Canva, Gemini, and DeepSeek. So there are many different options that you can use. I started this one in Canva and I transferred it over to Gemini to make some tweaks and changes. And what I have found in my experience, which is just a few weeks of creating web apps using these large language models, is that Canva tends to make the prettiest looking web apps. But when it comes to functionality and trying to make sure things work, it doesn't do a great job. But Gemini, on the other hand, sometimes makes pretty apps, sometimes it doesn't. But it's very good at troubleshooting and making sure the code does what it's supposed to. So oftentimes I might get started in Gemini, or if I want something to look really nice and polished, I will start in Canva, transfer it over to Gemini, and then make it work. So that's exactly what I did here. This web app would allow you to add tasks, so recurrent tasks, and it could be work tasks, personal life tasks, maintenance tasks using various recurrence patterns. And then you can print it out and then use it however you want. This is a light version of this web app, meaning that I have another version that I'm still working on and tweaking. That version is actually going to allow you use it on your computer, meaning that you don't have to print it out if you're not looking for that type of use case. So you can use it on your computer or decide to print it out if you want to. All right, so let's take a look at how it works. So we'll start with adding a new task, and let's just say create YouTube videos. All right, and I'll start the task today, and I'll leave the end date open. And what this does is add the task in perpetuity, so it just continues until you delete it or edit the task. I'll select the work category, and for recurrence, let's say I want to do this weekly. And when I click weekly, it gives me the option to select the day that it should show up. So if I want to do this task every Monday and Thursday, I can select both. If I only want to do it on Mondays, just check the day that you want this task to recur on a weekly basis. So let's do Monday and Thursday and add task. And here is what it looks like. So it shows up in the calendar every Monday, every Thursday in perpetuity from that start date. So I could keep going and this task would keep showing up. All right, let's go back to the current month, and you can see it's the 30th because that is the start date that I selected. Down here you can delete, edit, or add new categories, and of course modify the colors to fit whatever style you want. So moving over to this side of the calendar, obviously pretty straightforward calendar structure. You can hide the sidebar if you're done with it. So if I click this, now I have just the calendar displayed on my screen. And then you can change the week start day. So not everyone uses Sunday week start day. So change it to whatever works for you. And then here's the filter. You can filter by all the categories entered in the side panel. And then right here is where you would print and clear. So if you want to clear everything you've entered in the calendar, click on that clear button and it removes everything. If you want to print out the calendar, click on the print button and it will print it out. So we'll test this too. But for now, I want to add a few more tasks so I can show you the filter category. All right, so I have added a few more tasks to the calendar. As you can see, I'm going to close the sidebar. So we have just the calendar on the screen. And here is where you can filter. So now it shows all of the tasks because I have all the categories selected. Let's click on work category. And now it shows only my work task. Let's test the personal one. And it shows the personal task that I added, which is clean office. And I added one other category for other, and that shows up right here. After a task has been added, you can edit the task. To do this, click on the task you want to edit, and you can make any changes you want. I'm going to change the recurrence here to weekdays only. And now you can see it only shows up during the weekdays, Monday through Friday. You can also delete the task if you want. So go here and click the delete button, and it will remove the task from your entire calendar. And remember, you don't have to use the categories of work, personal, or other. You can use it to fit whatever type of category that works for your personal life or your business. These are general examples that most people would use. If you want to use this on your computer without printing it out, that's okay. You can still do that. The only issue with that is if you use the link in another browser or another computer or on your phone, you have to add everything all over again. But if you're just using it on one computer, then you should be able to use it like this. So you can go ahead and add your tasks, and as you complete them, cross them off. Pretty straightforward. All right, and then let's go ahead and test out the print option. This could be if you want to save it as a PDF or if you want to print it out. So go ahead and click print, and it opens up like this. So it gives you the option to save it as a PDF if that's what you want to do. But if you want to print it out, go ahead and change it here, and then you can print it out. It makes sense to save it as a PDF because you can open that PDF and print it out as many times as you need. You can change the layout if you want to portrait. So it looks like this. It makes sense to use landscape because it just looks better with this type of calendar grid. One more thing I wanted to show you is that it might not show up exactly like this on your computer depending on what your setting is. Let me show you what that means. Click on more settings. Down here where it says margin, it should say default. If yours says none, this is what it's going to look like. So you will have no margins. If you don't need the margins, that's fine. But if you want it to show up the way it shows up with the borders around it, make sure you click on default, and it looks like this, and then click save to save it as a PDF to your computer. I will leave the link to this in the description box below, so if you want to go ahead and test it out and use it, you're free to do so. You can use all the functionalities as many times as you want, but you can only use the print action 3 times a day, and it'll show you right here how much you've used and how much you have left. Up here, you can also see that same information. All right, so now that we've tested the print option, I'm going to clear the calendar. So to do so, click the clear button. It's going to ask you to confirm the action. I'm going to say yes, clear all. And now we're back to a blank calendar. Another thing I wanted to point out is that you can actually print this out as a blank calendar. And of course, you want to clear the calendar before doing that, which we have. So now go back to the print button, click print. And it opens the same dialog box. And now you can see we have a blank calendar that you can print out or save as a PDF and use it however way you want. All right, so this video is all about showing you how this works and letting you know that you can test out the link. If you are interested in creating this specific web app for your own personal use, let me know in the comment section, and I'll create a separate video showing you the process and the prompts that I use to create this product. So let me know in the comment section below. And if you do want to create this from scratch on your own, of course, you're welcome to do so. Use any of the large language models available: Gemini, ChatGPT, Claude, DeepSeek, and Canva. And if it worked for you, let me know. Leave a comment down below. If you found this video useful, give me a like. It goes a long way to help my channel. Share this video with someone that might find it useful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.